Happy Tuesday, Bucs fans. Hope you're having a great day. We got a packed show for you today. I got a ton of news, so don't go anywhere. You're watching Bucs Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Reed Barkus. For all the Seminoles out there, you can name who is on the back of my shirt right now. I'll give you some creds down in the comments section. All right, let's get on to today's show. We've got a ton of news. One being Lavonte David had offseason knee surgery, so that could sort of tie into what he might do for the 2026 season. We got news on an edge rusher position, just some extra stuff that we want to talk about surrounding the edge position. We got a little bit of news on that. And then some bad 2026 NFL draft news that we'll get to towards the end of the show. But before we get to the show, I need some help. We are at 9 videos with 100 plus likes on it. So 9 videos have gotten 100 or more likes. Can we make it 10 today? If you have not already in the, minute and a half that we've had this video going, if you haven't already liked the video, make sure go down, hit that thumbs up button. It really, really helps the channel out. I've been growing a lot on this channel, and it's all thanks to you guys. It's nothing to do with what I'm doing. I'm just giving you guys the content, and you're thankfully watching. So if you do like the content, make sure to hit the like button. And can we make it 10 videos on the channel with 100 plus likes? That would really, really mean a lot to me. All right, now, first up on the show. According to Joe Bucs fan, I think this was yesterday or the day before, I believe, Lavonte David had arthroscopic knee surgery after the 2025 season. Now, arthroscopic sounds crazy, but I don't know if it's too crazy because he was draining his knee the entire 2025 season. But we'll get to that in a second. All right. This is from Joe Bucs fan on David's knee surgery. Perhaps that's because David had arthroscopic surgery following last season. What? Arthroscopic. Thank you. I can't speak today. Thank you, producer Cullen. Everyone in the comments is probably like, what is he talking about? He had it drained weekly during the 2025 campaign. The surgery was successful, JoeBucksFan.com has learned. And David rehabbed under Bucs supervision for a stretch at team headquarters in Tampa. It was after the surgery that David told the Caps Off podcast in early February, I still got a lot of football left in me. I know that for sure. I still love the game. I know that for sure. And I just want to go back to the fact that he was draining his knee the entire 2025 season, which is just crazy to me. So obviously he had a little bit of a down year. We know that. And could it be, it is his age. He's not as spry and as explosive as he was in all of the years that we've known Lavonte David. But the fact that he was draining his knee weekly during the 2025 season definitely did not help with the numbers you see on screen, even though the numbers you see on screen are very good for a linebacker. It's just not as good as we've seen from Lavonte David. But, 114 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, 3 PBUs to 1 interception, and 2 forced fumbles and 2 fumble recoveries. This is good stats for a linebacker. Kind of. You know what I mean? His PFF ranks, and, PFF is not end-all, be-all, but 52 in overall, 66 in run defense. His pass defense has his coverage grade is 45. It's 79th among 100 qualifying linebackers, and his pass rush grade, obviously, 93rd. He has not been pass rushing as much. His production has definitely gone down a little bit, and his coverage grade, we know he's just not as quick and as agile in the coverage game. But I think he would be a great mentor for any rookie linebackers coming in, because everybody knows, I've been saying it if you've ever been watching my videos, edge and linebacker are the 2 things that I'm looking for in this NFL draft. So if you get one of those guys, whether it be a linebacker, if you do get a linebacker, Lavonte David would be a great mentor, a great locker room guy if he does decide to stay. So if he wants to stay another year, probably going to have to start him, but you can start him with another, linebacker right at his side, take some reps, sort of like that, and you mold that new linebacker into the new Lavonte David, hopefully. Can't replace him, but something of that sorts, he would be great in that role. So, be honest with me. Do you want Lavonte David back in 2026? Now, a lot of you are probably like, oh, yes, of course, it would be great. And then you kind of remember, well, he is getting pretty old and he had to drain his knee and he's, had some injuries, but he's a legend. He's a Bucs legend. Going to go down as one of the greatest linebackers, have had a couple good linebackers, but he will go down in Bucs history. And the fact that he might not come back is a little sad, but if I had to answer this question, which hopefully you guys do in the comments, type Y for yes, type N for no, I think it's time to hang up the cleats. I love Lavonte David. I love what he's done for the city, what he's done for the team, but I think it's time for Lavonte David to retire because he said in his quote, he still has football left in him. And I think a lot of times players do believe they have a lot of football left in them, but is their body going to hold up, and will it hold up for the entire season? So I think Lavonte David at this point is done, and he will not play for another team because I just can't see that happening. Mike Evans, on the other hand, I could see him possibly leaving somewhere. I don't want him to, but I think Lavonte David is a Buck for life, and it's either retirement or he'll play another season, maybe 5 or 6 games, something like that. All right, moving on to the second part of our tons of news show. We got a boatload of news today. News on an edge rusher position. Now, you're like, what does that even mean? It's so vague. It is a little bit vague. Now, I just sort of wanted to, the best thing that I try to do on this channel is give you guys the content, give you guys the news, just another outlet and an avenue to get Bucs news, and you guys can put your opinions on it, and I'll put my opinion on it. That's what this show is all about. Now, let's go to Connor Hughes from SNY on Bucs trade rumors. A little nugget. The Buccaneers contacted Jets about Will McDonald at the time and were rebuffed, instead saying they could discuss Johnson. So this is in terms of Jermaine Johnson when he was sort of in trade talks, and the Bucs, this tells me they were asking, they're asking around teams for their edges. And obviously, they were not trying to, the Jets were not trying to trade Will McDonald. They were trying to trade Jermaine Johnson, and it ended up happening. J. Sweat, Jermaine Johnson, swap with the Titans and Jets. And the Bucs were like, well, we wanted Will McDonald. So this tells me that they are actively thinking about a trade for an edge rusher, which is interesting. Just this is why it's a very vague thing. Just it popped in my head. I'm like, okay, they're willing to trade for an edge rusher. Maybe Maxx Crosby, because we got this news from the Bears, from Adam Schefter. Bears Pro Bowl center Drew Dalman has informed the team that he is retiring at the age of 27. Dalman left Stanford in 2021, and after 4 seasons in Atlanta, came into Chicago 1 year, and has made the sudden and surprising decision to retire. Now, this is interesting because if you think about Maxx Crosby, probably the main teams, you got the Cowboys, the Bears, and maybe the Patriots. We'll look at a whole list of the people that, potential suitors, but the Bears are at the top of that list. If they need a center now, they're not going to be able to afford Maxx Crosby. He's going to be too expensive. They got another need with a guy like Caleb Williams. He's ascending right now. You need to keep that offensive line very, very strong and continuity. And if you're losing one of your top guys, that becomes your main focus. Maxx Crosby takes a back seat. That trade, that's in the rearview mirror right now. Maybe they make a U-turn and try and go back, but they got to figure out who their center is going to be for the 2026 season because Drew Dalman's gone. So does that mean the Bucs could be interested in here? Because if you remember, Pewter Report had this trade idea: Maxx Crosby for a first-round pick this year, second-round pick next year, and Chris Braswell, our edge rusher. I like this trade idea. The Raiders, they've always said they've been pretty keen on two first-round picks, which I'm not giving that up. That's too much of this future going away. But a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a player, especially now that the Bears are probably out of it because they have to focus on getting a new offensive lineman, this makes things interesting for sure. Now, I mentioned it earlier. here are like the main Crosby suitors from Albert Breer from Sports Illustrated. Chicago Bears, but I kind of wanted to put an asterisk on here because now they got to figure out what to do with their center position. Dallas Cowboys for sure, Baltimore Ravens, New England Patriots, Philadelphia Eagles, and the Los Angeles Rams were also mentioned from Breer. So these are all teams that are going to go after Maxx Crosby, but it makes things interesting now that Drew Dahlman has like retired, because that means the Bears, or the Raiders might lower the value a little bit. I mean, with someone out of the race, I don't know. Could the Bucs go after Maxx Crosby? That's my question right now. You guys let me know down in the comment section. Do you think the Bucs would actually go for a trade for Maxx Crosby? I think as of right now, I think maybe go do the draft first and then free agency and see what goes on. But I think you can get either a good linebacker or a good edge rusher in the draft, but you never know. You guys let me know down in the comment section. All right, the last piece of our tons of news episode today. We got bad 2026 NFL draft news. And you're like, how can you get bad draft news? The draft hasn't even happened yet. Oh, it's because, spoiler alert, Sonny Styles is not making it to number 15. We could have said this like before, because we kind of thought this, where it's like, oh, it was only a chance that Sonny Styles would possibly get to 15 for the Bucs. It was sort of a fever dream or a pipe dream. But after his combine performance, absolutely no way is he getting to 15, unfortunately. So that's the bad news. But guys, look at this freaking RAS score. Are you kidding me? I mean, there's no way that this is what we were supposed to have. I mean, this is not what we wanted at all. This is not what we wanted at all. I mean, shout out to Sonny Styles for the unbelievable. Look, guys, look at it. It's 43.5 for a vertical. Think about quarterbacks trying to throw over the middle. Sonny Styles is just going to jump up and be like, nope, that's mine. So, like I said, not what we wanted at all. And people got online and started doing mock drafts. PFF did a post-combine mock draft. Number 4 going to the Tennessee Titans. I mean, I knew it was a pipe dream before, when it was just a possibility of, oh, maybe if the board fell a certain way. I'm so upset. And again, ESPN, they did a mock draft as well. Obviously, Fernando Mendoza, Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Ruben Bain Jr., Sonny Styles going to the freaking Giants, man. I wanted him so bad. I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Twitter, but I had a tweet of his 43.5-inch vertical, and I go, please be there at 15. Never going to be there. But hey, let's look at some possible draft targets that, with Sonny Styles out of there, be like, okay, we're definitely not getting him. Hey, how about these 5 guys? Now, you see one at the end right there. I'll get to him in a second. But Keldrick Folk, I think, is my number 1 option right now. He's been mocked a couple times. Now, with the combine being over, things switch up a little bit. I think Keldrick Folk gets to 15. Akeem Mesidor is also a great option there, the edge out of Miami. C.J. Allen, a linebacker option. Love him. He's a green dot guy. He'll be the quarterback of your defense. Cassius Howe, I really enjoyed him until I got to know that he's in the, 0th percentile for his arm length. I think it's like 30.5 inches or somewhere around there. Not good. He's got short arms. Not really good for an edge rusher. But I still have him on my list because he does have production, and you never know what will happen in the NFL. And then Dylan Thieneman. He ran a 4.3540. The DB out of Oregon. I say DB because it's safety, or I think you could put him in a nickel as well. But I put him in at number 5. You could also put Jacob Rodriguez in there at number 5. He had a very good testing at the Combine. So those are my top 5 at number 15, after Sonny Styles, unfortunately, will not make it to number 15. But you tell me, everybody in the comments section right now, which position will the Bucs use pick number 15 on? Will it be edge rusher? Will it be linebacker? Will it be offensive lineman? Will it be tight end? I know they met with Kenyon Sadiq. I made a video about that. If you haven't watched that, go check that out. Could be a sneaky draft target. Tight end, offense, I don't know. You let me know down in the comment section what they're going to use pick number 15 on. And that is all I have for you on today's show. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Now, I'll remind you again, I'll give you some credit down in the comment section if you guess what number this is. There's been a couple number 4s for this Florida State Seminoles, but thank you so much again for watching to the end of the video. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Trying to get to double-digit liked 100 liked videos on the channel. Thank you so much for your support, and as always, fire the cannon.